Welcome back. We to preview Wednesday evening's Premier League match between Chelsea and Everton at Stamford Bridge. Pascal stopped the home side, stretched their lead at the top of the table to 7 points, win last time out.
Yeah, it was massive, wasn't it? Obviously, with City playing Hull at home, you never would expect them to drop any points there. But Hull getting a 1-1 draw, and obviously City, they almost lost all three. Milner with the last gasp free kick, but Chelsea are going 7 clear with a 2-1 win at Aston Villa. Everyone was picking them to win there, given Villa's recent slide. They hadn't scored in 6 games, and it's amazing that Chelsea were the team to allow them to score. Given that Chelsea, you'd say, have one of the best defences in the league, but obviously bad defending from that corner, wasn't it? It came over. And Akore was just completely unmarked at the back post. Mourinho would have been furious with that, but they managed to respond and get the winning goal through Ivanovic. Great finish from him. He's a great goal scoring defender, and he gets forward. He's great at the back as well. He's one of the top defenders in the league. But the star moment in that game was the first Chelsea goal. It was a brilliant goal. They worked it down the right. Oscar, bombarding down the right, playing it into Willian, and then he crossed to Hazard. And it was a great finish from him. And obviously Hazard, he's arguably been the best player in the whole league this year. He's been fantastic for them, and when he's firing, Chelsea can beat pretty much any team in the league, can't they?
Yeah, you mentioned players in good form. Like Hazard has a great season, but it was said during the season, wasn't it? What happens when Diego Costa gets injured? Obviously, he's suspended at the moment. He's still suspended for this game. It's the final game he's suspended. Drogba came in for the Villa game, and Drogba was poor. Drogba's been one of the great Premier League strikers. In the modern era, he's been fantastic, but he was really struggling in that game. He got taken off. I'm surprised like Remy didn't start. When he came in, scored against City, obviously, and his movement up front. I'd be astounded if he didn't come in and start this game, because obviously Drogba, when you're at home, you need movement up front, and people like Hazard buzzing him off and Willian, Oscar, and they need someone to feed, I think, and obviously that's going to be Loic Remy, who's had to be patient this season, isn't he? I think as well, when Costa comes back, Costa is the main man, so Remy's going to be thinking, well, if I'm not getting in the team when Costa's suspended, then when am I going to get in the team? But it's difficult because he's got a lot of good players to fit into that team. Quadrado as well, when you think about is he going to come in for his first starts? He came off the bench last time out, so it should be interesting.
Definitely, and it's a big month coming up for Chelsea, isn't it? The next 2 games in the league, both at home against Everton, and then they host Burnley, who you'd fully expect them to beat. So those 2 games, they've got the first leg against PSG, they go to Paris in that one, and then they have the League Cup final after that against Spurs. So a massive month coming up for Chelsea. And I think Everton might just think, with PSG coming up, a week after they play Everton, Everton might just think, are Chelsea going to have an eye on the PSG game? League Cup final's not far away now, and Everton might just try and take advantage if Chelsea may be getting just relaxing a little bit. They'll sort of see the 7-point gap, and with PSG coming up so soon, will they sort of relax a little bit? And Everton might just try and take advantage of that.
Yeah, it might do. Moving on to Everton, obviously they drew 0-0 weekend with Liverpool. It was a bit of a nothing game, wasn't it? Really, it was obviously, you said there's going to be a big atmosphere, and there was a good atmosphere, but nothing really happened, did there? Jordan Ibe hit the post in the first post for Liverpool, but apart from that, nothing much happened. I think Lukaku was the big disappointment because Liverpool playing 3 at the back. You'd fancied him to sort of rough up Skirtle and Chan, people like that, but never really happened for him, did it? Obviously, he's going back to his former club now. He's going to be playing for the first time because he couldn't play when he was loan spells at West Brom and Everton, obviously. So it should be interesting in him going back to his old club. He'd be keen to impress because when he first went there, everyone was calling the next Drogba, wasn't they? Obviously, he burst into the scene at Anderlecht when he was just 16. So didn't do too much against Liverpool, and it was a poor game overall, but he should be buzzing for this one.
Definitely. And it obviously leaves Everton 12th in the table. They're only 7 points off the bottom 3, so they are in danger. Obviously, nowhere near the top 4 race at all. So, their focus. We talk about Chelsea maybe taking one eye off the league and look at the Europa League, but Everton might be in danger of doing the same because their next game after this, they go to Young Boys in Switzerland. Obviously, that was a great draw for them in the last 32 of the Europa League, and going to you wonder if Martinez might just not rest a couple of players, but maybe tinker with his side a little bit. Obviously, going to Chelsea, it's a really tough game there, and you wonder if he'll tinker with his side just so that they're really ready for the game next week against Young Boys because they'll want to progress in the Europa League because that is their only real chance of any success this season. You can't see them getting into the top 7 of the league, and you wouldn't expect them either to get dragged down into the bottom 3, but that's where that's their best chance of silverware this season. And obviously, it's unfortunate they can't play Christian Atsu in this game. He's just been named player of the tournament for the Africa Cup of Nations, but obviously he's on loan from Chelsea, so he can't play in this one because I'm not sure if it arrived back in time because obviously Ghana got to the final, lost in that crazy penalty shootout against the Ivory Coast, but with him playing so well at the Africa Cup of Nations, Everton might hope that he can do the same for them because he didn't really do much in the first half of the season. Obviously, he's a talented player. Obviously, Chelsea, on the books of Chelsea, so Chelsea must think something of him, but he hasn't done too much this season. So Everton will be looking to him to come into the team maybe after this game because he can't play here. So it'll be interesting to see if he has an impact in the second half of the season.
Certainly. Everton's form lately hasn't been great, to be honest. I mean, they've had a poor run of form. They've stopped losing. I think they only lost one of the last 5. They've only won one of the last 5, so too many draws, and like you say, sitting down in 12th. And it's been a poor season, though, getting away from that. This is a tough game. Can you see him getting anything from it?
I can't at all. I think Mourinho will be quite angry with the Villa game. Obviously, the goal they conceded won't be happy with. But they didn't play too well in that game against one of the bottom sides in the league, so I think they were going to really respond here, and I'm back them to win 3-0.
3-0, yeah. I also fancied Chelsea. I'm just going to go 2-0. I can't see anything other than that. So both going for fairly comfortable Chelsea wins. Thanks for joining us.